Time to bring in Pat Pagano, world-famous meteorologist and film producer and filmer. Good morning, Pat.
I don't know about world famous, but
Well, you're famous in our world.
well, thank you. That's very nice. Very
So-
nice of you to say.
So how did the filming go this weekend?
It was rough, I have to tell you. I knew my lines. The problem again is that when it came to my scene, there's nobody to work the cameras. So I had two cameras on tripods, and I was hoping, that it would work good. It's a good thing that we did some close-ups of me, because from where I stood and the main camera pretty much got my back the whole time. And the other camera, maybe the side. I don't know if we're going to have to do it over. We'll have to see what the director says. But aside from that, it was a lot of work. That's all I can tell you. Tons and tons of work. Did not stop from the minute I got there Saturday until I got home on Monday. So I was really, really wiped out. Now, we have one scene left, actually two scenes left, and that's this Saturday. I didn't think we were going to get it in because of Ian. And I figured it was going to come up the coast and give us rain. But it now looks like that will not be the case. And the weather will stay dry. So I should be able to get that in. That's good, because I heard from my contractor yesterday, and they already started digging the footings for the bump out. So they already started work. So that is a good thing. Things are just moving along, and the weather is too. There's this big, big low sitting over the Great Lakes, and it spins these little spokes of low pressure our way, and that's why we have clouds and some sun and a sprinkle, or at least a sprinkle or shower today. Yesterday, some places even had some thunder and lightning. So I think it'll be partly sunny and breezy today, 70 to 75. Tonight, partly cloudy, 50. Same deal tomorrow. Sun and clouds, mid-60s, and the same on Thursday. Mid-60s, partly sunny. Friday should be mainly sunny, 65 to 70. I think your Saturday will be sunny, and again, 65 to 70. Sunday, we may see more clouds. If there's going to be any rain from Ian, it's probably not going to happen until Monday, if there is. And it certainly doesn't look like there'll be a lot. As far as Ian is concerned, he's over the eastern tip of Cuba. Eastern tip? Yeah. Western tip of Cuba, sustained 125 mile per hour winds, moving to the north at 13 miles an hour. Once it gets off the Cuban coast, it will probably intensify even more so. Then as it gets into the Gulf of Mexico and tomorrow gets just off the central coast of Florida, there's going to be wind shear at higher levels, so it'll probably weaken a little bit. Nevertheless, we are still expecting it to hit west coast of central Florida as a major hurricane. It'll be the first time in almost 100 years. 1912 was the last time that area had a major hurricane. 1912. Again, folks, the extremes are now the norm. And then, because it's going to be moving slower, the speed, they'll have a longer period of rain, wind, tornadoes, storm surge, and that will move probably right across central Florida. So in and around Orlando, they're going to have to bunker up too, because the potential of tornadoes with this hurricane will exist inland, and then it will migrate into the southeastern states, send rain all the way up to the Virginia coast this weekend, and hopefully begin to take a turn more northeastward out into the Atlantic. But again, if it doesn't, some of the rain could creep up and affect us Sunday night or Monday.
We really could use the rain. You know that. We really could.
Yeah, but you don't need a hurricane.
Well, I'm just hoping that it creeps up far enough where you just get, let's say, 2-3 inches of rain.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I just thought I'd tell you that. If you get any rain out of this, it's going to be probably less than a half inch.
Well,
If.
well, even a half inch would be good.
Right.
To be
But
honest
I
with
don't
you.
even know if that's in the cards. So don't bank on that, folks. It's funny because, this past May, my sister Dorothy told me that she bought a house in Venice, Sarasota County, on the west coast of Florida. I said, "Oh, you did? What are you going to do? You're going to move down there?" "Oh, well, not right now. I'm going to fix it up and I'm going to rent it." I said, "But I told you not to buy there until the hurricane hits. You've been saying that for 3 years." I said, "Okay." I
Yeah,
said, "But every year that goes by, the probability
increases.
increases."
Yeah.
So she goes, "You told me that the West Coast was safe." I said, "No, I didn't say safe. I said the West Coast is less likely to get a major hurricane than the East Coast of Florida." And of course, this bears out what I said because it's been 100 years
Yeah.
for the West Coast of Florida. So obviously, she has been very low key for this. I sent her an email yesterday telling her what was happening, and the response was not an email, a text. The response was, "Okay, thanks." I told my cousin who bought near Orlando that she shouldn't buy until the hurricane hits. Have not heard a word from her. So, I mean, I've warned these people, but it's just like before Sandy. I traveled Long Island. I did free seminars all over the place. And my seminar was called, and I have the videotape to prove it, "When the Big One Hits." And I kept warning them on Long Island that it's inevitable that there is going to be a huge, huge storm, and tunnels are going to flood, bridges are going to be inoperable, hospitals are going to be without power. And I went through this whole thing and how they need to have an evacuation plan. Everybody shoot it. Just shoot it until, of course, Sandy hit.
Right.
So I rest my case, folks. I'm sorry. I've been saying this for many years about Florida. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the storm goes the other way into the Gulf and maybe doesn't hit anywhere. But that does not seem likely. And of course, my other prediction that I've been talking about for 3 years, Marshall, and you know it, Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Overdue. Well overdue. In fact, Cape Cod is more overdue than Florida.
And how close really they came. Did you see the pictures out of
Yes. With Fiona.
the,
Yes.
the devastation where it took?
Yes.
Yeah, houses and everything like that. But I'm not talking about taking a little bit of beachfront. I'm talking about just devastation and
Yeah.
all the trees. First time that's ever happened.
The problem, again, that I see with Cape Cod, if a storm like the 1938 hurricane comes racing northward, just like Fiona did,
Yeah.
but on the longitude of Cape Cod, you're talking devastation. There's nothing to stop it. There's nothing to buffer it. It will go, if it were to go straight across Cape Cod, you're talking just something that we don't even want to think about. And the same thing holds true if it came in from the southeast, from off the ocean. If it came from the southwest, it could get buffered in part by Long Island, by Block Island, so that wouldn't be as bad. But any kind of a tropical system coming from the south or the southeast or east for Cape Cod is big trouble. So I don't see any of that happening, folks. I don't want you getting nervous. Again, this is a scary situation for Florida. Our prayers go out for everybody there. And by the way, Dan Henry is in Florida, and he is in Sarasota, and I think he evacuated yesterday. But I will give him a call, see how he's doing.
Well,
His mom's down there, and so is his girlfriend.
I was going to tell you, I had a great conversation with him about hurricane yesterday when he filled in. It was a terrific conversation about the hurricane, what he thought, what they were looking at. Yeah, because he's right. He's going to be right there in the center of it all.
Yep, and he's worried about flooding, but he's a little higher up. But we're talking a storm surge here, 5 to 10 feet for the Sarasota region. So storm surge warnings are out. And again, the slower the hurricane moves, the more it will be battered by storm surge, wind, tornadoes, and heavy rainfall.
And
And think about it, Marshall. Let's say that 5 to 10 inches of rain are going to fall. Okay, when the rain falls, it moves back out to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yep.
If you have a hurricane coming in from that way, all the water that tries to move into the Gulf of Mexico will not be able to, because the hurricane will be pushing the water from the Gulf of Mexico inland.
Yep.
So you're talking about, as the Hurricane Center says, a life-threatening situation.
Well, we'll keep our eyes on it, and we'll listen to you every morning, and we'll follow it.
That's it. And I'll be here tomorrow morning with more data.
Data. Did you?
Data.
By the way, speaking very quickly, did you see that asteroid hit yesterday by NASA?
Yeah, they caught it, thank God.
Yeah, spectacular, spectacular. What a great science at its best.
At its best.
All right, Pat, we'll check with you mañana.
Okay, bye-bye, Marshall.
Matt Pagano this morning in the Weather Center with a check on our tri-state forecast here on Robin Hood Radio.